If listen, guys, if you've been working on money magic for a long time, or if you've been looking to level up financially and things aren't working for you, I'm telling you, you cannot build material wealth until you first build your self-worth to know that you deserve the money that you are asking for. Hello, darlings. I am Cassandra. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to discuss with you how I'm using Damon brand's Magick to heal my relationship with money. So, I have completed the Wealth Magic book, and I like to call it a program because I think you have to commit at least a quarter of a year to complete the program, which is so amazing. And I think Mr. Damon Brand is known for his work in creating wealth with magic, angelic magic, or working with spirits and entities, and so forth. But I think that in order to acquire true wealth, we must look beyond just getting more money, right? And money, and I personally am learning that money and self-esteem and self-worth are tied together. So if you're asking for money and you're doing magic and your money spells aren't working for you, it's probably because you need to work on self-esteem and guilt and shame. Now, as a person who has, guys, okay, I'm just gonna be myself, okay? I didn't make my tea. Yeah, I could use some tea, but I want to just calm down and I want to talk from my heart, okay? And then I want to tell you what you can do if you are in my position where you are doing money magic and you are saying, where is my, why am I still struggling? Why are things still hard for me? Why am I not living the life of my dreams financially, right? Now, I think there can be a couple of reasons, but I want to focus on one that I think is the cornerstone to wealth. I don't think anything works if this is out of order, and that is feeling like you don't deserve what you're asking for. Like if you don't feel worthy of the type of money that you're asking for, at some level it just cannot come to you. But the best way for me to share is I have to tell you my story. I have to talk to you from what I've gone through, because I want to add that level of transparency and authenticity to what I'm sharing with you. So when I was a kid, my brothers and I, whenever we received new gym shoes or new clothes, we would always do everything we could to make sure that it looked old. And I remember I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and close by the Hitsville, USA, where the what do you call it? Motown. We lived walking distance from Motown, like a stone's throw from Motown. And this is in the late 60s and early 70s. So whenever my father was a tool and die maker, and my mother sewed car seats for Fisher Body, which is GM. So we grew up in a neighborhood where most of the kids did not have a father. I don't think maybe one or two had a father, but we were lucky. And my father was 28 years older than my mom, okay? So people thought my dad was my grandfather. He was born in 1911. Every time he died in 1913, I like to always start it out there. And my father was a hard worker. He didn't, and he I remember my first allowance I received. I don't know if I had started kindergarten yet, but I remember it was 50 cents. Or maybe my brothers received 50 cents and I received 75 cents. And I remember those beautiful quarters that were really shiny. And we would go to like this little corner store and buy now and laters for all of our friends, or we would buy ice cream off of I think it was Mr. Softy, or the ice cream truck. And so by the time my father gave us our allowance, it would be spent yeah, before nightfall, because we would just treat all of our friends in the neighborhood. And I was talking to my brother today, and I said, do you remember, because I want to make sure this is not just something I'm making up. I said, do you remember when we were kids, and whenever when our parents bought us new gym shoes, we would always go on the side of the house and we would put dirt on each other's gym shoes, and we would do everything we could to make them really dirty because we didn't want anybody to know they were new. And my brother said, Babe, oh my God, I was just talking to my wife about this just yesterday, and I was telling her that I was ashamed that we were like some of the only kids with two parents. And he said, I'm just tired of feeling guilty about that. I said, oh my, guilty? Like, I would have never in my life. And then we were talking about how we have gone through so much financially, trying to acquire wealth. But the thing about us is like, we don't have material assets, but if anybody asks us for anything, we're willing to give it to them. Like, here. And we've always been the ones like, I got the tab, I got the bill, I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to treat, we've always been the one to we've always surrounded ourselves with people who don't treat us or don't want to share with us that way. But our parents taught us it's always better to give than receive, and you don't want to be a beggar, and you don't want to be a user. You don't want to have your hand out. My dad used to always say, you don't want to have your hand out. And so we had developed an over conscious relationship with money, in the sense of we're supposed to give it away because we want people to like us. And if we have new clothes or new things, people won't like us, and that would be, so we were ashamed, right? And I wouldn't even have used the word ashamed, to be honest. I just kept thinking, like, why are we this way, But my brother was like, babe, he said it was just like we wanted to be with our friends, and he was saying like we would go to their homes and they didn't have certain things, and he said it would make him feel really bad. But anyway, I want to share a couple rituals with you, because before I get, I'm already talking a lot. If you have grown up, I know a lot of times when people talk about money, they talk about it from the standpoint of parents saying, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, we grew up with that too. But what if there's guilt and shame around having? Like, maybe you didn't, want people to think that you were better than them. Because I know I still carry that. Even like at my job, if I wear something and I get a lot of compliments on it, I don't want to wear it again, because people would say stuff like, girl, who you think you killing it? You think you better? I know it's a joke, but it still make you feel like, no, I don't think I'm better than anybody. And no, I don't want you to be jealous of me. And it's kind of this, I think the term my brother used was, we were always downplaying everything and giving everything away so that our friends would like us, right? And so now we are, in our late 50s, almost 60, but, and we're just like, our last year, because we were 11 months apart, the last year of our 50s, right? And we are just talking about how much we have our whole life, here, even, just feeling guilty for having a dad, almost, for guilty for not just a dad, but a dad who gave us an allowance. Like my father, even like our, relatives, my uncle would come over and take our allowance because he needed the money, or y'all got some money. I mean, I'm talking about our whole life. It was like it started. I remember the last allowance I received from my dad. It was up until he died. It was $50, and I was married and had like 2 or 3 jobs. And my father was just like, "This is just to keep," He just always like, "You're my only girl." Like, I was But anyway, I was gonna say my father had a family prior to my mom, and he had a daughter who was older than my mother, but I was the only girl with two brothers, and my dad just always felt like, I never want you to depend on a man. I never want you to need somebody. And my dad used to always tell me, your degrees are going to be your husband. And so it just made me super independent, sort of, you know what I mean? But anyway, if you have guilt and shame surrounding money, whether not having enough or feeling out of place with your community, with your neighborhood, I want to share a couple rituals with you. One of them is in the 72 angels. Let me get this right. I don't want to lose my page. In the 72, there we go. The 72 Angels of Magick by Mr. Damon Brand. This is, guys, I'm going to tell you, these are my 2 favorite books by Mr. Damon Brand. I'm these 2. I love this book. Even I love this book. I can't. Oh my God, I lost my page. Talking too much. Let me see. Can I go right to it? It's haha. Let me see. I don't know if I may have to. Let me just. I'm gonna turn this off and I'll be right back because I lost my page. Okay, I'm back. I found my page. It's page 130. The powers of Ha'el. Ha'el on page 130, and I want to read to you what it says, okay? And I'm trying not to show too much information. So here we go. The power to strengthen inner nature. Oops. There we go. Let me get comfortable here. If you find that you feel distant from yourself, or that you lack inner strength, or feel ashamed of who you are, call on this angel. You will gain more self-esteem, more self-respect, and the strength to express your personality without a sense of shame. So again, this is Ha'el. It's on page 130. It is in the 72 Angels of Magick. It is an 11-day ritual. It starts on a Thursday, ends on a Sunday. Guys, this is the best magic on the planet, in my opinion. This magic, when I did it for some other stuff, I've done it quite a few times. It connected me to my ancestors. I had never burned ancestor money before. My ancestors came to me in a dream, and they told me, I feel like, I don't know who this is, but it's somebody here. I don't know. I'm always feeling spirits, right? My ancestors, right? But yeah, they came to me in a dream, and they wanted me to buy red apples for them, and they also wanted white flowers. And in the dream, anyway, I've told this story before, but the 72 Angels of Magick connected me to my ancestors, and I think I told you guys about. Well, sometimes there are new people watching you. When I was performing one of the rituals, a crow a crow was on the banister to where I like on I was coming out, and like and the crow just was right there on the banister and looked me dead in my eyes. And if my daughter was not a witness, no one would ever believe it. It was look me dead in my eyes while I was doing this ritual, and I knew that everything was gonna be all right. I knew everything was gonna be all right. And during this time, I was going through something I don't even want to talk about. Maybe I probably talk about it in some of my videos in my Jungle Beauty Goddess online museum. But I would just go to my therapist, and I would just walk in. I would cry my whole 50 minutes. And then when it was time to leave, she would say same time next week. And I would just go. That's how bad it was. And I was doing this magic, and it pulled me through something where they told me I had a 1% chance of succeeding. And I also went on a 3-day fast. So this book is life-changing. Now, even though I'm a person who is, so let me just say this for people who maybe haven't met me before. I took a GED out of high school. I lost my innocence behind a boy in my class took it. Okay, I don't want to go into details, right? And but anyway, I took a GED out of high school. I have an associate's degree. I have a bachelor's degree. I have 2 master's degree and a doctorate degree, and ABD in sociology, and I have a doctorate in psychology. Now, a lot of times when people hear that a person have all these degrees, they think, "Oh my God, you're so smart." No, you're so wounded. What are you working for? What are you trying to hide? What are you trying to... Sometimes people don't understand that when you find a person, not everybody, but a lot of times, we are we're trying to overcompensate in certain areas of our life to make up for not feeling good enough, right? Or feeling... So I had a lot going on, basically, as a kid, just always feeling like let me just give everything I have away. And as I got older, I don't know, I just felt like I spent my whole life calling myself working towards being successful, but I think I was really working towards not having to think about not feeling good enough, right? Now, the other book to get started, now this is, guys, when my daughter went away to college, this is the book I gave her. Words of Power. This is the best. This is the first magic book I've ever used. I don't know how Amazon recommended this book to me, because at this time, I wasn't even familiar with this type of magic. I didn't know it existed, but this is my very first magic that I've ever used. And I remember, I think I used, let me find the one I want to share with you. If you're trying to work on healing your relationship with money. And there's a really good one in here. So let me go to, I just actually did it again today, because it's something that, when something is a part of your childhood and your upbringing, it's more difficult to remove the, how do I want to say it? The way I like to describe things to my students is I call it your software. So your software is the programming that you've been given by your parents and by society. And so if you know anything about software, it's pretty, it's how you see the world, right? It's how you make sense of the world. And in order for you to go in and reprogram yourself, that takes a lot of work. And a lot of people refer to it as the subconscious. Like, but to me, sometimes, even when we intellectually understand why something is wrong. Like, I can intellectually say to you, look, when we were kids, we were ashamed of having an allowance. We were ashamed of having a dad and parents that worked, and we were ashamed because we wanted to fit in with our friends. And our father, my family, emphasized that it's more important to give than receive. You don't want to have your hand out. You don't want to ask for things. You don't want to need anybody. And so we developed a very unbalanced relationship with money, because in order to, like, my brother works for a factory, and we all have, we have good jobs, but we have not established ourselves in terms of like material wealth. Because even if I know, like my brother and I, if somebody called us and say, look, I need some money, we're going to give it to you, even if we have to take away from something of our own, because we were just trained, or it's a part of our programming, a part of our software, is you always want to give. It's better to give than receive. And my daddy always used to say, never loan what you can't give. So when somebody asks you for something, you just give it to them. So the other magic that is really good for working on guilt and shame in general, but I'm just focusing on guilt. I am using magic to heal my relationship with money. And really, money is about self-worth. So this is Words of Magic. And the ritual is for more self-respect, and it is on page 58. And then I want to read it to you guys. It says, Mr. Brand says, when people have asked me for help with their magic, I often find that many people don't like themselves. Don't get me tore up. Okay. I already did this more than once. It says, I'm going to start over. When people have asked me for help with their magic, I often find that many people don't like themselves. They are trying to do magic to improve their lives, but have a low opinion of themselves. This means that even if the magic works, they will remain unhappy. Self-respect has many benefits. It makes you happier, more attractive, and more useful in group situations. It helps with confidence and makes your interactions with others easier. This magic will not make you arrogant, but will connect you to your true desires, your beauty, and the light of your soul, enabling you to gain more self-respect. It can be used once or whenever you feel bad about yourself, with results growing over the weeks and months to follow. It can even be used in the middle of a situation where you feel your self-respect slipping, such as a date that's not going well, and the results can manifest instantly. And this is on page 58. I do have a link in my description box for Amazon for these books. Guys, are very inexpensive. I know this one may be less than $20. I'm not sure how much the 72 Angels of Magic. If you can't, afford the time, because you can afford the book, to do the 72 Angels of Magic, but I definitely recommend it, because this is your life, guys. Do the Words of Power, because you can do it right away. It would take you, I want to say less than a minute or two to complete this ritual, but it is to feel more, to remove, I don't want to say it wrong. To feel more self-respect. And this is something that I think a lot of people are struggling with in terms of building wealth and prosperity and money and assets. You can be in relationships where that aren't growing, that aren't healthy. Listen, guys, if you've been working on money magic for a long time, or if you've been looking to level up financially and things aren't working for you, I'm telling you, you cannot build material wealth until you first build your self-worth to know that you deserve the money that you are asking for. I really hope this video helps someone. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you, darlings, in the next video.